The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our webinar on financial planning called Own Your Financial Future, 6 Ways for Women to Take Control of What's Ahead. My name is Sharon Ryan, and I work in the alumni office. And I'm going to introduce our presenter, Saul Simon, class of 1984, I believe. But before
Hi, good afternoon.
were you class of 84? Yes? Yes.
I was.
Before I introduce him, I'm going to go over how it's going to work. I know many of you have been to our webinars before, but you should be able to see the presentation on your screen. You're also going to be able to hear it. You should hear it through your computer's audio system. We really want you to ask questions. So if you have questions, type them in. We'll be monitoring them. We'll most likely answer them at the end of the webinar. And any questions that are not answered, you can feel free. I will share them with Saul and he can get back to you. But now I'd like to introduce Saul for those of you who have not met him before. Saul is a really frequent webinar presenter for us here at William Patterson. He's an alum, and if you've ever attended one of his webinars, you know he knows what he's talking about. He's presented webinars and seminars on financial planning, estate planning, a variety of other topics, and today he's gearing this webinar towards women of all ages. But if you're a man, you're welcome to be here too. Saul is a William Patterson alumnus. He's been a certified financial planner for over 20 years and is the owner of Simon Financial Group. Saul specializes in working with individuals and business owners to develop strategic financial plans that help them reach their financial and family objectives. Saul believes that the more you know, the better your finances will be. So he sponsors lectures on financial planning for corporations, adult educational programs, and community organizations. Saul also hosts a TV show called Simon Says, Manage Your Money, and he has appeared as a guest on CNBC, Fox Business, and Steve Adubato, Caucus, New Jersey, and One on One. So now I'm going to turn it over to Saul. He's presenting Own Your Financial Future, 6 Ways for Women to take control of what's ahead. Thank you again, Saul.
Hi, good afternoon, Sharon, and good afternoon, everyone. Congratulations as an acknowledgement that you're actually taking time to learn and get educated. So kudos to you. So this is focused on some of the challenges for women, and it's going to be recorded. And if guys are listening to this conversation today, I think you're going to have some further appreciation for who women are in the workforce and in our lives, and the financial impact that they are experiencing because of they being women. Women have become more financially savvy, prominent, and confident in the world of investing. But for many, it's not simply a matter of picking up the phone or calling an advisor or using one of the many online investment websites. The nature and needs of women are unique, and understanding them is the first step towards being financially empowered and independent. So we're going to go through some slides. This is who I am. I wrote a book. If you guys are interested in a Kindle version, we'll send it out to you. Today we're going to discuss the financially empowered women and some of the factors motivating her. We're going to look at 6 potential financial scenarios that concern women and how to take action. It's my hope that you'll be able to relate to one or more of these scenarios outlined, and feel free to take some notes and or ask some questions. In the long run, we shape our lives and we shape ourselves. The process never ends until we die, and the choices we make are ultimately our own responsibility. So this is important stuff, and I just acknowledging you again for just being here and taking time. Okay, what's going on with my slides?
Is it clicking?
Okay, good. Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, moving forward. It's widely known statistic that women generally live longer than men, which is good news. But that means that most women will eventually become financially independent and will need to know how to make smart financial decisions. This seems like a natural fit since many women are already making the important and critical decisions within their family and their lives. Now, the truth is, women are earning more money in the workforce than ever before. And in 51% of working women were in management or professional occupations, and 27% were chief executives, which is, it's about time. Taking these factors in consideration, it seems clear that women should feel confident about contributing and driving their financial future. So we're going to go over some topics now, which regards to planning. So is your financial future, how are you going to take charge of it, and how are you going to deal with it? Being responsible for your own retirement plan. How will you protect your retirement savings from the ups and downs of the market? How will you cover the expenses if you or a loved one gets sick? What are the chances you will outlive your spouse? And finally, will you want to leave something behind? And if so, how will you accomplish that? So this is real interesting. So let's take a look at an excerpt from Cerulli report that captures the top financial goals among U.S. households. When asked what is the most important goal, over 2 in 5 households indicate that they want to ensure a comfortable standard of living in retirement is their top priority. This goal outranks other financial aspirations, including aggressively growing wealth, education financing, managing risk, and more. On some level, it's no surprise households of all ages have retirement as top of mind issue. Maintaining a comfortable standard of living in retirement may seem like a reach, given how much is needed to live in retirement. And what's something that we need to acknowledge is you can't finance retirement. If you're concerned about saving enough money, there are quite a few things that we can do to keep moving forward and or stay in the right direction. So women saving for retirement have many options to help reach their savings goals. One of the easiest and most accessible saving vehicles is an individual retirement account or an IRA. There's a Roth and or an individual offering benefits of tax deferral for faster retirement savings. A traditional IRA allows you to make contributions with pre-tax dollars up to a maximum contribution amount each year. And you could defer taxes until the money is withdrawn, and at which point the entire amount taken is fully taxable. Contributions to a Roth IRA are made with after-tax dollars, and any growth accumulates income tax-free. Therefore, when you're ready to take withdrawals, they can be taken income tax-free. Avoid taking withdrawals from either a traditional or a Roth prior to 59 and a half, and by doing so can generate either penalties or an income tax to you. Other investment products can be part of your retirement savings portfolio, such as mutual funds, stocks, and bonds. And each product offers its own features and benefits and risks. So you really need to develop a strategy that will work for you. The idea of having a retirement plan is only somewhat familiar to some women. Many women miss a few years in the workforce when they have children to care for or elderly parents. And not being proactive during these times can work against your savings plan in the long run. Some working women may defer the majority of their retirement plan to their husbands. But for women in the workforce, one of the most beneficial retirement savings options is an employer-sponsored retirement type plan. 62 million wage and salaried women ages 21 to 64 working in the United States. Just 45% participated in a retirement plan, according to the Department of Labor. And even small amounts that you put away can add up over time. Um, I'm going to talk about vesting in a second. Your employer-sponsored retirement plan allows you to save every payday on a regular basis. A set percentage of your wage is contributed to your retirement account before taxes and or after taxes, depending on if you elect Roth or IRA election. The immediate the advantages to doing so is you get an immediate tax break, you get continued tax deferral, and one of the disciplines, or you get consistency by continuing to do this and pay yourself first. The money you set aside is deducted from your paycheck before your wages are taxed. And since the money is not included in your current taxable income, you get to pay lower federal and or state income taxes. And remember, the more you save, the lower your current income taxes will be. Taxes will not be due on this money you save in this retirement plan or any of the earnings until you take money out. This is a big misnomer. People think that it's tax-free, tax-free. So the money, when you take it out, is distributable, and it's taxable income. But the accumulation, the speed of the growth of this retirement account, compounding on the earnings and compounding on the contributions and continuing to compound, allows this money to accumulate. And real brief, this is an example. So looking at the slide, let's just say we pay 25% income tax, and this is your take-home pay. And let's go to the 6% example, which is the fourth on the right. And the reason why I pay 6% is because very often your employer will match up to 6%, which means if you're not participating, you're actually leaving free money on the table. So in this example, your take-home pay would be $1,058. You would put $90 into your retirement plan as a contribution, and the net difference in take-home pay is $68 because you're getting a tax break. So it's not such a significant, issue of taking money away from you. Saving a regular amount on a regular basis at scheduled intervals, you get to take advantage of the market highs and the lows. So over time, fewer shares are purchased when the price is high, and more shares when the price is lower. So you're averaging out the cost per share because you're putting in the same dollar amount. And what this is called dollar cost averaging, or periodic investing. And we can't guarantee any profits or losses, but by averaging out your purchase, you're able to take advantage of declining markets, because we want to buy things when the markets are, quote, cheap. And we want to stay consistent by doing this. Just as important as saving for retirement is also protecting your accumulated assets. Market volatility and inflation can significantly affect your savings unless you take steps to protect your savings. One way to keep pace with inflation is to consider investments with growth potential tied to market upswings, and it's also offering downside protection or guarantees to help protect you during a market downturn. This particular slide illustrates compound annual returns of three asset classes before and after, considering the effects of inflation. Over the past 25 years, inflation has dramatically reduced the returns of stocks, bonds, and cash. Annuities are designed for retirement savings and offer tax-deferred growth. You really need to understand annuities and have some professional advisor, some independent person, give you an understanding as to what the riders are, what the optional benefits are, so they meet your needs and protect you based on what your goals and objectives are. One of the things I want to just speak to briefly is over the past 30 years, We've had a fixed bull run in fixed income, which is the bond category. So in the past 30 years, back in the 70s, 80s, interest rates back then were 18, 20%. Granted, inflation was high, but over the past 30 years, as you know, money in the bank right now is paying relatively nothing. If we've held a bond, which is fixed income investments, government, corporates, rates have come down, causing our fixed income, our bonds to go up in value. We're in a whole different paradigm shift right now. And this is something you really need to be very conscientious of, because if I continue with the portfolio allocation and my fixed interest rates are going to be rising, which they're doing and saying they're going to continue to do, it's possible to lose money on my bonds. So you really got to call your advisor or call people that you want to turn to ask questions and say, what kind of impact is that going to have on me? And frankly, in my client portfolios over the past, I would say, year, we've actually modified and altered allocations, asset allocations, and lowered our position in fixed income and bonds. Social Security benefits are lower for women than for men. The average Social Security benefit for women age 65 and older is about $13,500 per year, compared to $17,600 for men that are 65 and older. Women rely even more on income from Social Security than men do. On average, female beneficiaries 65 and older, they actually receive 61% of the family income from Social Security, compared to 56% for male beneficiaries age 65 and older. One of the reasons for that, when you think about it, is women are living longer. Now, one of the other areas that you want to just, again, I'm saying things that you're going to shake your head or you're going to acknowledge, like, well, that makes sense, is when a woman is home caring for their children or home caring for adult parents or aunts and uncles, they're not in the workforce, which means they're not contributing to their Social Security benefits, number one. Number two, on that retirement pension side, you remember I said something about that 6%? There's something about vesting, and you need to be with a company for a certain amount of time in order to vest, so that all the monies that the employer is giving you is 100% yours. And if we go in and out of the workplace, we lose those benefits because we're not staying there long enough. So it's a real catch-22 for women that are caring for children and or caring for older adults and aunts and uncles. And we need to at least be cognizant and aware of why those statistics are what they are. Just as important as saving for retirement is protecting your accumulated assets. Market volatility and inflation can, hang on one second. Okay, great. So now we have college. So this is, college we can finance. And one aspect to consider of being financially independent is the fact that many women are having children later in life. And through various circumstances, they may find themselves becoming financially independent, yet still responsible for children. There's also more women today that are not getting married and having kids. This means that they have to cover the expenses of raising these young people, funding their child's education, or financially supporting grown children who are still at home. And if you think about how many kids maybe are not able to go out and get a job, or some of our children are divorced and having issues, a lot of these adults, adults are coming back into the home, which many of us never planned on doing. Public four-year on average is costing about $19,000 per year. tuition fees and housing for in-state students. The average annual surcharge for full-time or out-of-state students at these institutions could be as high as $33,000. Private, not-for-profit, four-year college charges on average could be as high as $50,000, $60,000. And when you multiply these costs over 4 years, if we're lucky to have them only do this within 4 years, we're talking about a substantial amount of money. And again, women could be faced with being financially independent and caring for the aging parent, and they may not have saved enough for their own retirement, or they may need additional support, whether emotional, physical, or financial. So let's explore some options. We want to look to guaranteed income products. Life insurance does build some cash value. In addition, life insurance can be a wealth transfer or wealth creation for the next generation. Sandwich generation. For women who are often tasked with taking care of aging parents, the impact of healthcare expenses and long-term care can be more than financial. The sandwich generation refers to those people who are sandwiched between raising children and caring for elderly parents. Currently, 1 in 8 Americans aged 40 to 60 is a member of this group. And I, ladies and gentlemen, am one of them. As more individuals retire without enough savings to live on, this generation will continue to grow. When it comes to our own health care, according to HealthView Services, there's estimates in 2015 which shows that during retirement years, a 65-year-old female is projected to spend over $22,000 a year in healthcare costs than a male the same age. So the emphasis is significant on women today. And many of us in their retirement financial estate plan are not addressing a product called long-term care. And I could share a story about my own parents, and maybe some of you have heard it before, but I'm in the mix of this as we speak. All this information adds up to the fact that women have additional challenges when it comes to health care. Women are living longer than men, giving way to the potential for increased healthcare costs and increased risk of needing long-term care, coupled with the actions of taking care of loved ones, including children and adults, parents. So let's put our family first, right? Put your family first. Keep moving forward with your retirement savings as you prepare your loved ones for potential long-term care costs. Let's get your family together to have a conversation about your parents. Get your siblings in the mix. Talk to others who have experienced long-term care experience in their lives. And you should be discussing this with your financial advisor, or you should be hiring a financial advisor to help you. Long-term care insurance is one option, and there's several other alternatives, and you need to be aware of them to protect yourself. If you've considered your legacy, congratulations. You've already planned ahead, and like so many women, thinking of their loved ones. Whether you want to leave a legacy behind, be it for your children or grandchildren or other loved ones, charity, religious organization, college, and universities. This is a plan that you get to choose how you want to do it. Estate planning is essential to ensure that your assets are utilized and distributed according to your goals and your objectives. A number of financial options are available to help you protect and increase your legacy, including life insurance, annuities, and trust planning. Trusts tend to be viewed as very sophisticated tools for the wealthy, and frankly, they're not. Many of us who have an IRA, which most of us do, that means you have a trust, because an IRA is considered a trust. And that's why the trust called an IRA has rules like If I take the money out before 59 and a half, there's a penalty. And upon distribution, it's taxable income. So we want to look at what benefit trusts can be for you and your retirement estate plan. A life insurance policy can provide benefits needed at a time of death to cover expenses, provide income to replace your income for survivors, or to tax efficiently pass assets on to charity and family. Proceeds from life insurance are not subject to federal income tax, which means it's tax-free. And if structured properly with a trust, these benefits can be exempt from estate taxes. The laws are constantly changing, so you need to be speaking with an advisor so that your situation is specific and being tailored to your needs. So what are some of the steps you can take now to get started today or own your own financial future? Women find value in the opinions of those they trust and tend to be more confident about their retirement when they work with trusted financial advisors. Let's look at this slide here. As a matter of fact, research shows that women value working with a professional to help them accomplish their goals, actually more than men. I was sharing with Sharon earlier that I happen to work with many female executives in the workforce. So here you have women that have families and children, or they may be single, and they're not only taking care of the family household, but then they're taking care of the responsibilities at work. And these days, corporate America is pulling us in so many different directions with maybe even more work because they're downsizing. And then if there's travel involved, you know, I'm just saying this and I'm getting like stressed and feeling tired. And I have this appreciation for women and who you are. And then you're possibly caring for children and adults, and you're taking care of the social calendar for the family, and it's just quite an overwhelm. So many people should be turning to someone to just bounce thoughts off of or get second opinions to what it is they're doing. I'd be happy to discuss any of the ideas and products covered in this presentation as to how they would pertain to your specific situation. I would like to send Sharon, if you'd like, an income and expense budget worksheet to help you get started, to help you to come closer to helping you achieve your goals and achieve your objectives. And this is the beginning by taking these types of educational webinars and programs to round out your knowledge and investments. So that's the presentation that I put together. I think I kept it somewhat simplistic as best as I could. I apologize if someone found it overwhelming or there was some jargon verbiage in there, which I try not to use. But I'd like to open it up for questions and see if we can be of help to you.
So if you have any questions now, just type them in and we'll give you a few minutes. But Saul, that would be great if you could send that expenses worksheet that we could send out to everybody. That would be really helpful. So
Okay.
We'll send you that. This will be on YouTube, so you can look at it again, or if you need to look at something else a little more. And also, we'll be sending you that link. So send in your questions. I'm going to wait here. Saul's going to wait here. I know there's got to be questions because I see people typing. So, oh, okay, here we go. Ready? This person, oh my goodness, what can you suggest regarding financial success tips for me? This person is a licensed massage therapist starting her own business and also working for an out-call massage company. So she's starting her own business and also working for another company.
So one, I want to make sure that you have, I'm sorry, what, Sharon?
I was going to say she may not have, the ability to have the 401 or whatever, the matching. So Go ahead. Sorry, Saul.
Yep. So step one, I want to keep, you want to protect yourself from a risk management perspective. I want to make sure you have medical insurance since you're this entrepreneur and you may not be getting company benefits. So medical insurance is very, very important. Second, I would pay yourself first on a monthly basis, start to save money into a savings account. And when you've reached a certain amount of money, since you're this business owner now, and there may be inconsistency of getting money or income, you want to have an emergency fund. But as you accumulate money, I would start to save money into an IRA. And if you want to save $5,500 maximum, under 50, over 50, it's 6,500. And God willing, you're able to save more than that. You can then do some sort of an individual type of retirement plan, something called a SEP for business owners, a simplified employee pension plan. So there's a lot of choices and benefits for you as you grow and prosper and build and accumulate. At some point, you should ask an advisor some questions so that you're in charge, you're in control.
Okay, here's another one, kind of the same. Are there investment opportunities for working women when their company doesn't have a 401k or tax deferred compensation plan other than or in addition to IRAs?
Of course. I mean, I do this all the time for people. You can set up a growth-oriented mutual fund, have X number of dollars come out of your checking account on a monthly basis, as if mentally your rent or your mortgage just went up by $500 a month, $1,000 a month. So there is savings that you can do into some sort of a growth-oriented mutual fund to provide for your future. And I'm using a mutual fund or something called an ETF, electronic trade fund, because it's inexpensive. And I'm using that as a product because it's diversified. I'm not suggesting we go out and buy one individual stock. That's dangerous.
Okay. There's a lot of questions. Next question. Do you need a lump sum to purchase an annuity?
Yes.
Okay. And would that be
annuities? Yeah, annuities, they're very tricky products, folks. And I would really, really want someone that is interested in that to either call me or call someone that they have trust in, because they're tricky, they're expensive. So I want you to buy that product for the correct reasons. But usually annuities are a lump sum investment. Because there's a certain age that an annuity should be bought. Young people buying an annuity, I disagree with.
So like what age would you buy an annuity?
Say 55. Or at least 50, 55.
Okay.
At least.
Okay. Thank you. The next question. This person has a 401 from their old job. Should she move it to a Roth?
Yeah, so you have a 401k at an old job. If you moved it to a Roth, it would be a taxable event for you. And that's not a great idea. What I would recommend is take your old 401k and roll it over into an IRA where you and your advisor can pick the investments that are best for you, because today you're picking the investments that are inside the 401k that the company offered. So I would take that 401k, roll it into an IRA, and control it yourself and get it out of the 401k employer.
Okay. Thank you. This person's very formal. They said, hello, Mr. Simon. This person has a question regarding life insurance, which you do. If you decide to stop paying for life insurance due to financial constraints, does the amount accumulated so far become stagnant, or do I lose that money? And can you start payments again later on?
So A, depends on the policy. B, if you're not paying the premium, it's got to come from someplace. So that means it's going to come from the cash value in the policy, or it's going to trigger a loan. And I highly recommend you, and yes, later on, you could always add money to it. And I would highly recommend you call your insurance guy, you call your advisor, call someone, call the insurance company to ask the questions that are best for you so you understand this.
Okay.
Call me if you want.
Okay. We'll give you Saul's number after this, by the way. And next question, what do you think of CEFs for an investment option?
CEFs.
Yes.
I'm not even sure what that is, sorry.
If you could write down what you mean by CEF person, that would be great. And then we'll move on to the next question, which is, can monthly contributions to mutual funds, ETF, be considered Roth IRA contributions if structured so that annual total contribution is $5,500? I hope that makes sense.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Yeah, what that means is you set up an application called a Roth, and on a monthly basis, you're adding money to that account. Good job.
Very good. That's a good question. Thank you. I'm just waiting to see if the person's going to write what a CEF for an investment opportunity
All
option.
right, we'll come back to her.
Yep.
Or him.
We're waiting for her. Okay. See if there's more. I think that's it right now. I wonder what that is.
Good.
Yeah. I'm just going to let you know if anyone's writing questions right now. I'm just going to let you know that Saul's answering the questions here, but he also, I'm going to give you his email. Oh, I'm sorry. Here it comes. Closed End Fund. Closed End Fund, CEF.
Yeah. So now what's the question? What about the closed end fund?
The question is, what do you think of CEFs as an investment option?
They're expensive, and I would want to know why you're buying them. And I think you can choose to do something better than those. They're expensive. They're expensive. And so, they're expensive. I'm not sure if they're great. They're wise for you to purchase.
Okay. And okay, now this is kind of a very broad question, but how diversified should a diversified portfolio be?
How much money is in the portfolio? And you want to look at asset classes. You want to have large cap, like the S&P 500. You want to have mid cap, small cap. You want to have international. You want to have emerging markets. These are asset classes. You want to have some position in real estate. So there's a methodology of having money in an asset allocation strategy that allows you to take a certain amount of risk to get a stated rate of return on average over a period of time. Because the markets had such a run up in the past 8-9 years, my gut says, and I've seen this every day that I see people, their allocation is not balanced because the S&P 500 or those blue chip stocks have had such a bull run, such a positive run, that the allocation needs to be modified. And what I find, I could say, unfortunately, it's fortunate for me, but it's unfortunate for people that even if they have these advisors, they're maybe speaking specifically from an investment perspective. One of my differentiators is I'm looking at accounting, legal, insurance, and investments, taking this global view, looking at it from like a cross-disciplinary basis, not only seeing what you're doing, but seeing if there's coordination gaps and seeing if there are missed financial planning opportunities. And I don't necessarily replace other advisors. I just help to quarterback, coordinate, collaborate with your other advisors so that for the risk you're taking, you're getting the rate of return. I use this example. You're out to dinner with a friend and someone says, "Oh, I earned 10% on my investment portfolio." And then, of course, "Oh, I did too," because you want to keep up. But my question is, "Oh, good for you. That's great. How much risk are you taking to warrant the 10% rate of return?" And why I'm asking that is if that person's allocation of investments is geared to take the risk of earning 12% and they only earn 10, they're not doing so well. If your investment portfolio is geared in your allocation to earn 8% and you earn 10, that's awesome. So because a friend or a neighbor or someone's telling you to do something a certain way, it really behooves you, as if you have your personal physician, to have a personal go-to that you can build a rapport, trust, be able to have as a resource, and guide you, just like you hire a plumber to take care of your plumbing concerns in the house or any other type of handyman or woman. I have to stress the importance of having competent financial people on your team to look out for you.
Okay, thank you. More questions. What is a good age to purchase long-term care insurance?
I would start looking at it, the younger you are, the less expensive it is. I would look at it at the age of 50, 55.
Okay.
And there's a lot of options or strategies that you can look at. I just did my own long-term care life insurance planning as I modified my own personal stuff in the past, I think, year or maybe two. Life insurance policies now offer a long-term care rider. So frankly, I wear myself on my sleeve. At the age of about 50, I bought a long-term care policy. It was like term insurance, meaning if I don't use it, I lose it. I was paying about $4,000 a year. And about 3 years ago, I have $3 million of term life insurance because of my obligations with family and children and what have you. And I converted 1 million of the three. And when I converted 1 million to a permanent type of insurance, I added a long-term care rider on the life policy, which cost me $1,500. And what I ended up doing after it was approved is I canceled the long-term care policy that I was paying $4,000. And in my own personal financial budgeting, I took that $4,000 that I was spending and I put it toward this life insurance policy that I converted to own it as opposed to rent it, adding the long-term care rider, which is protecting me and helping me satisfy my goals, my objectives, and creating a pot of money in the event of my needing assistance to protect my net worth, protect whatever assets I accumulate. I've got a bank account using the life insurance policy to help care for me by having someone come into my house, by taking care of me or helping me with assisted living or whatever. And I'm doing this right now, folks, with my own mom and dad. My brothers had a breakfast this morning, and it's emotional on my parents, and they're going to be coming up in about 2 weeks. They're in Florida. They're coming up back to Jersey, which is base camp with the children and grandchildren. And, it's a lot for my mom. My dad's got some dementia, and it'll be interesting to see how it plays out emotionally and physically. And hopefully they're happy and they're willing to start this new chapter in their life.
Thank you, Saul. I know you know what everyone's going through, so with your own, so thank you. Can you take another question?
Yeah.
Okay. This woman says she liked the investments in her former employer's 401k. Rather than leave it there, is it possible to roll it over into an IRA with the same investments, or are these investments only available in like large blocks for corporate investments?
I'd have to, I can't answer that. I don't know what you have. So if you want to send me an email, put secure in the subject, attach the statement, I'd answer your question. Or, email me and then we could talk about it. Folks, a blue chip ETF is a blue chip ETF. It consists of the same stuff inside. So call the 401k company, ask the question, ask them because they handle it. So that's my coaching to you.
Okay.
401k company.
Another question, would a disability insurance policy be a good idea?
Yes.
Oh, got that, everybody?
Folks, statistically, you're more apt to get disabled than you are to die. If you're in your 40s, there's a 1 in 3 chance of being disabled. And if you're in your 50s, there's 1 in 2 chance of being disabled.
Yikes.
And you're talking to someone right now, Saul Simon, that actually got hit by a car when I was 24 years old and I was out of work, out of commission for a year. So I kind of have experienced that disability. That's why mortgage foreclosure occurs, because you can't go work. Human beings are going to go work. We're going to go Uber. We're going to go do something to go make some money to pay our rent, to pay our mortgage. So I cannot stress to you the importance of having disability income insurance. I cannot stress it. I have various chapters if you want a chapter on disability or life insurance or special needs trusts or estate planning, wills, power of attorney, that you can ask Sharon for. Disability is very important, folks.
Okay, thank you.
I use the example, you'll laugh at this, you'll smile. We're like, like a goose that lays a golden egg. Well, we're the geese. We're the goose. Because if we can't work and make money, who's protecting us? Who's protecting our income to pay our bills and take care of what we're responsibly financially obligated to do?
This is true. Well, a lot of people are saying thank you. So if there's any more questions, type them in. Otherwise, I'm going to tell you, some of you, I'm going to give you Saul's information. You can email him or call him, I guess, Saul. They can call you.
Yeah.
And if you have any further questions, or if there's something that he said, send it to me, privately. You can do that. He does have his ebook, which is really good. And I actually have that. I can attach that in the email to everybody if they'd like it. It's a very good book. And then if you can send me that expense form, we will do that. This will be up on our YouTube channel. I'll send you the link to that as well, so you can all read it and look at it and put all the pieces together, and then let us know if there's any more questions. But I see a lot of people saying thank you, so I know it's coming to the end. Saul, yeah, expense form would be great, people are saying, and great presentation. Thank you very much. So Saul, thank you again. He's like our financial guru here, and a Willie P graduate, just like you all are. So thank you again for doing this, Saul. And
you're welcome.
I will send all of you the information as soon as we're done here. And I want to thank you all for coming. And if you have any ideas for other further financial webinars you'd like to see or anything else, please let me know, and we will present them to you. So thank you again, Saul. Thank you, everybody, for coming. And
good luck, everyone. Thanks, Sharon.
Thanks a lot. Bye, everybody.
You're welcome.